It's Friday, November 18th, and this is Now on HNN.
I strongly believe that the normal processes of this department can handle all investigations with integrity.
Attorney General Merrick Garland appoints a special counsel to independently investigate the DOJ's probes into former President Trump. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with more on the timing and a look at the special counsel now tasked with the job.
In a lawsuit, the family of a ninth grader who was allegedly raped at gunpoint at McKinley High School says the alleged attack could have been prevented.
There were policies that existed that required doors to be locked and the facility secured.
Twitter employees have fled the nest in a mass exodus after an extremely hardcore work ultimatum from Elon Musk.
All these stories plus Merrie Monarch tickets are about to go on sale.
This is what we do, old-fashioned way.
Details coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. Thanks for watching. This is Now. You got Jonathan and Ashley coming to you right here from the HNN Digital Center. Let's get started with this live look at the nation's capital. Some breaking news coming to us from Washington.
Criminal probes into former President Donald Trump just got a boost with the news that a special counsel will now take the lead on those investigations. Skyler Henry has more details from the White House.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced he's turning over the investigations into former President Donald Trump to a special counsel.
Appointing a special counsel at this time is the right thing to do. The extraordinary circumstances presented here demand it.
Jack Smith, who's been with the DOJ since 1994, will now oversee key aspects of a probe involving the January 6th insurrection and efforts to undo the 2020 presidential election, as well as the investigation into the former president's handling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago.
As special counsel, he will exercise independent prosecutorial judgment to decide whether charges should be brought.
In a statement, Smith said he intends to conduct the assigned investigations independently, going on to say the pace of the investigations will not pause or flag under his watch. Attorney General Garland said that former President Trump's announcement this week that he would make another run at the White House and President Biden saying that he too will likely seek re-election prompted him to make a decision now to appoint a special counsel.
Such an appointment underscores the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters.
A Trump spokesperson released a statement saying this is a totally expected political stunt by a feckless, politicized, weaponized Biden Department of Justice.
Well, good evening.
House Republicans, who will be in the majority beginning next year, say they will investigate what they call political attacks on the former president. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
New at noon, the U.S. Senate has unanimously passed legislation that would provide funding for domestic violence and sexual assault services for Native Hawaiian survivors. The Violence Against Women Act inadvertently excluded Native Hawaiian survivors, so this bill, spearheaded by Senator Hirono, rectifies that. Hirono says data shows roughly 2/3 of sex trafficking victims in Hawaii are Native Hawaiian. The bill now goes to the House for consideration. A lawsuit claims a ninth grader was raped at gunpoint at McKinley High School last year. As Daryl Huff reports, her family says officials kept the attack secret from the school and the community.
This lawsuit says on February 11th of last year, a ninth grader showed his classmate a handgun tucked into his waistband. He then lured her into a restroom in this building where he sexually assaulted her while another student heard what was going on.
She was saying, "Stop. Stop, let me go, let me out of here."
It was the freshman girl's first day ever on campus after months of online learning, so she didn't know the remote building might not be safe. But her attorneys say the school did.
There were policies that existed that required doors to be locked and the facility secured because the school knew it to be a dangerous area, and that also did not occur.
The lawsuit says they also knew the boy was aggressive and violent towards others. He was unpredictable, had no fear of authority, and disregarded right from wrong.
They allowed him to remain on campus unsupervised, and on the day of the incident, He had with him on campus a gun and an axe.
After she immediately reported the assault and that the suspect was armed, school administrators called police, but also tried to handle the suspect themselves.
Not a school lockdown, nothing. Rather, the boy was talked to by the behavioral specialist,
from whom he ran away and hid both weapons, which the police later recovered. The McKinley campus and community were never informed of the incident.
Even if you are a parent of another child who is there, I would imagine they would want to know about this.
The DOE said it couldn't comment because of the lawsuit, but the attorneys say the complaint is based mostly on facts in a DOE's own investigation. The boy was prosecuted in family court, which happened in secret, but attorneys say the family was satisfied by the outcome. The victim is at another school.
I think she's doing as well as could be expected under the circumstances. She's a strong and talented young lady.
While the family is satisfied with the punishment that the boy received in juvenile court, they hope this lawsuit will also remind school officials of their responsibility to keep students safe. Reporting from McKinley High School, Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Now, the nest at Twitter is looking bare after a mass employee exodus, and many users are now fearing the worst for the social media platform. Isabel Rosales joins us with the latest on that. Now, Isabel, a lot has happened over the last 48 hours. Can you break down what we need to know?
Yeah, Ashley, Elon Musk has been the CEO for a little bit about 3 weeks now, and yet so many Twitter employees are now finding themselves without a job, whether by choice or layoff. On the user side, RIP Twitter, hashtag RIP Twitter has been trending worldwide since yesterday with that mass resignation that happened, with many Twitter users saying what they fear is their final goodbyes, telling other people where to find them on different social platforms. The situation, Ashley, is looking dire inside of Twitter. Hundreds of remaining employees seemingly calling it quits yesterday, rejecting Elon Musk's ultimatum of working extremely hardcore. He told them to sign a pledge by 5 p.m., and if they didn't, they could hit the road. A lot of them deciding to, in fact, do that. So right now, all of the offices are closed, including the headquarters in San Francisco. Employee badges, they have been suspended. Presumably that's for to protect the systems and the data. Those offices are set to reopen, Ashley, on Monday. But those that will come back, they're going to see a much different Twitter from the inside than they've ever seen before.
Isabel, how is Musk responding to all of this? And is Twitter actually headed toward collapse?
Yeah, well, the platform is certainly in chaos and utter disarray. There are serious questions being raised with so many people gone. How does a massive social media platform like Twitter continue to survive? How do they keep the lights on? If a code breaks, how do they fix that with so many people gone? Already, Musk had eliminated earlier this month 50% of Twitter's then 7,500 people workforce. A former Twitter executive described all of this, what happened yesterday, as a mass exodus. Twitter is a huge digital town square, Ashley. It's hugely important. It's where journalists come to news gather, journalists like us, where politicians and the president, the Pentagon, they put out important communication, world leaders, they communicate, dissidents in oppressive countries, how they organize. So if Twitter dies, this will be a huge disruption to the flow of information happening on a global scale. As far as how Musk responded, he apparently has seen all of what many people would call chaos as a good thing, tweeting record numbers of users logging in to see if Twitter is dead, ironically making it more alive than ever. Ashley.
And he is making some changes to those hardline rules he proposed in an effort to get people to stay. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, things got so bad that at one point, Twitter asked some of the people that they laid off to please come back. According to sources, management were in a state of panic, a panic mode, in those hours before the 5 p.m. pledge deadline, the hardcore deadline that happened yesterday. Senior leaders, quote, scrambling to convince top talent to stay. Musk at some point realized how grim the situation was. He sent out an all-staff email relaxing previously strict anti-remote work policy, his position on that. And it didn't appear to do much good because we spoke with former employees. One of them said, I don't want to stick around to build a product that's being poisoned from the inside out. Another former employee said, people don't want to sacrifice their mental health and family lives to make the richest man in the world richer. Ashley.
All right, Isabel Rosales joining us from our nation's capital on this Aloha Friday. We appreciate the time, Isabel.
The holidays are just around the corner, and many are getting ready to jump on a plane to go spend some time with family or friends on the mainland. But getting there could be a little stressful, so here are some tips that could help you reduce some tension. First, take control of your posture and breathing. Sitting for a long period of time can have a negative effect on your posture, so taking deep breaths for 90 seconds can help you relax and bring down your stress hormone production. That's according to research. Another tip, drink enough non-alcoholic fluids. So that will help reduce those muscle cramps and achy joints you experience while traveling. Experts also say stand or walk every opportunity you can. Try to reduce your risk of getting sick and stretch out the tension by doing yoga exercises in transit and when you arrive at your final destination. Now, Casey Lund has more unraveling your traveling advice, especially for those planning to take some of that Thanksgiving meal along with them.
Yeah, aloha and good afternoon from the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. And yes, as you mentioned, a lot of families getting ready for their holiday travel the Friday before Thanksgiving week, and many of them planning on bringing at least some kind of food item. Well, we checked out the TSA's What Can I Bring section of their website, and some pretty interesting stuff. Of course, right off the bat, they say you should avoid carrying on anything that can spill, spray, or spread. But there's some other food items that you should know about when traveling this holiday season. The TSA says if you're bringing a meal that's larger than 3.4 ounces, it has to be placed in checked luggage. If food needs to stay cold, ice packs are okay, but they have to be frozen solid when you're going through security. Some of the food that can be brought with no issues include baked goods, meats like turkey and ham, and cooked and uncooked stuffing. Some foods to avoid are anything liquid like cranberry sauce, homemade gravy, and wine. Remember that food items often need additional security screening, so put them in a place easily accessible and allow yourself a little more time to go through security. We were out here at the airport this morning and talked to some folks as they were getting ready to make their trip this holiday season.
We're going to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, very good. Let me ask you a little bit, is that your holiday travel plans for the year? Have things been a little bit more expensive, and has that kind of hindered or changed your plans?
Definitely the cost, having to really make sure when we go it's important to us. We have traveled less this year for sure, but hopefully next year that'll get better.
So again, you can go to the TSA website, that's tsa.gov, and look for that What Can I Bring section on their webpage. And I should mention also, you can follow the TSA on their social media page. Some pretty interesting stuff that they end up confiscating at airports all across the country. Reporting at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, I'm Casey Lund. For now, we'll send things back to you.
All right, want to give you now a first alert to a situation in the Northeast. Anyone traveling there, want to watch out for this severe weather situation there in Buffalo. They're dealing with a big snowstorm. Let's turn things over to Adam Harding in Buffalo with more on that.
Well, the storm is continuing to make its way in through western New York. Here in Buffalo, we're already contending with roughly a foot of snow, if not more already, though right behind me it looks like blue skies. Don't be fooled. That is lake effect snow, that system that we've been talking about, where there will be pockets of blue skies, and then about 30 minutes later, the snow continues to pick right back up. Overnight, I want to show you what we saw. As the snow was coming down and the system was making its way in, we saw a whole lot of lightning and loud rumbles of thunder continuously throughout the night. As I mentioned, Buffalo, just one area here that's talking about a whole lot of snow. About 11 miles south of where we are, Hamburg, nearly 3 feet of snow. And we are still in the early stages of this system. Remember, it's not just Friday that we're talking about. It's not just Saturday that we're talking about. We're also going to be looking into this storm through Sunday as well. So when all is said and done, we could be talking about 4, 5, maybe 6 feet of snow in certain areas. and it is already coming down, as you can see here in Buffalo. One of the big questions is, what do the roads look like? Well, this is Main Street where we are right now. The roads look pretty clear. We've seen some plows come through, but right now people are being told, unless you absolutely have to travel, stay inside. Do not get out on the roadways, because crews now want to get to those secondary roads. And of course, we know this storm system, the potential for a historic storm at that, it will be with us for the days ahead. That's the latest in Buffalo. I'm Adam Harding, NBC News.
Thanks, Adam. And of course, the Buffalo Bills having to move their game because of the storm already. Yeah, wild. So what's our weather going to be like? There is some unstable conditions out there. Let's turn things over to Billy V with more on that.
Thank you very much. Happy Aloha Friday. Let's jump into the headlines as far as your weather goes. First alert weather for you. There will be some stronger winds, especially coming up Sunday as we get into holiday week. So Sunday and Monday, those winds will pick up. But for today, it's going to be pretty much regular trade wind weather, 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the northeast. We can expect some passing showers, windward and mild showers drifting leeward at times. But first alert heads up. Next week, we've got some possible rain with the frontal system that'll move in. We'll get into that coming up here in a moment. Let's show you your surf. They had a high surf advisory that was up for yesterday. Those waves are on the North Shore 8 to 12. Box jellyfish over in the water, and everything else is 2 to 4. Here's your 7-day forecast for you. Start with today. Once again, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds. But notice this, they get stronger coming up Sunday and Monday, 15 to 30 miles per hour. Now we go through in Thanksgiving week. Coming up on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we have the possibility 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with higher gusts. Those gusts could be up to 45, 50 miles per hour, depending on where you are. As that frontal system moves into our islands, it will bring some rain. We'll be watching this here as we bring you, once again, first alert, Thursday, some wet weather ahead. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's get you back to more with This Is Now.
FIFA confirms no alcohol will be sold at Qatar World Cup stadiums. Amanda Davis has more on the new development.
Another day, another headline, and one that won't win Qatar any new fans you suspect in certain parts of the world. A huge call with just 48 hours to go until the start of the World Cup. A real embarrassment for world football's governing body, FIFA, and one of their biggest sponsors, Budweiser. Alcohol will not be sold to fans at stadiums. It will be served in hospitality areas and still at the fan fests, but inside the grounds, it will be Bud Zero. This is a tournament that from the word go has challenged the norms. A World Cup awarded in the midst of a corruption scandal, a first ever Winter World Cup to be held in the Middle East in a Muslim country. It is a very different story, this, to the controversies, the concerns we've been talking about in the area of human rights, the treatment of migrant workers and members of the LGBTQ+ community. But what it does is cast doubt on what people should expect over the next 5 weeks, the guarantees that have been given over the course of this tournament and beyond. Amanda Davis, Doha, Qatar.
Party's still going on, though. You can hear it in the background of her report. Also, Budweiser tweeting, well, this is awkward this morning after that news broke, and then they deleted the tweet.
Oh, no.
Yikes. All right, other news trending online. Check this out. The iconic New York City retailer Bergdorf Goodman. I think I'm saying that. I've never... Bergdorf, that's how you say it. Unveiled their new holiday window display. The window features a mosaic of paper creations alongside paper mache. It's called Magic in the Making, a celebration of craft. Wow, that's a real stretch for a window. That's going somewhere, right? So Macy's really was the first to start this tradition of animated holiday windows back in 1889.
That's crazy. Macy's has been around that long?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been around. And, I mean, Miracle on 4th Street was in the 30s, that movie. So
that's true.
Think of that tradition.
Awesome. Well, a big rule change is coming to next year's prestigious Wimbledon tennis tournament in London. organizers have announced they will relax the all-white clothing rule for female players. From now on, they will allow women and girls to wear dark-colored undershorts if they want to. Now, the decision comes after the tournament and its organizers faced growing pressure about the mental stress and anxieties of players who are menstruating. Now, Wimbledon's strict all-white dress code was initially implemented to camouflage sweat stains. So next year, Wimbledon is set to be played July 3rd through July 19th.
All right, time for an update on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so remember this? We talked about this yesterday. Taylor Swift is now breaking her silence about the Ticketmaster ticketing fiasco that took place this week. On Instagram today, she posted and spoke out and appeared to blame Ticketmaster for the debacle, saying there were a multitude of reasons why people had such a hard time getting tickets and how it's excruciating for her to, quote, watch mistakes happen with no recourse. She added she would try to figure out how the situation could be improved moving forward. If you don't remember, more than 2 million tickets were sold for Swift's upcoming Eras tour, but many fans took to social media to complain they were unable to purchase tickets after spending hours trying to do so. They said both the website and the app were not loading, and the platform did not allow them to access tickets, even with a pre-sale code. Now, yesterday, Ticketmaster announced general public ticket sales, which were scheduled for today, had to be canceled because of insufficient remaining ticket inventory to meet the demand. What a mess.
And man, did she go off. Did you see the size of that social media post? She really wrote it all out there in a full essay. Yeah. All right. Let's turn to some good news now. Merrie Monarch tickets about to go on sale. Kalihi Tucker has more on that.
Old school. That means if you want a seat in this magical stadium for the greatest hula competition on earth, you need to mail a letter. And don't be late. Long before dancers light up the world's most famous hula stage, the glamorous Merrie Monarch Festival comes together in this unglamorous building.
This is what we do, old-fashioned way.
The festival's president, Auntie Luana Cavelu, and her protege daughter Kathy are piled high with paperwork, and they're about to get a mountain of new mail.
We already got requests for tickets in July. We don't accept it until December 1st.
The festival will only take requests by mail, postmarked starting December 1st. And keep in mind, if you wait until December 2nd, they could be sold out.
You know, many people have suggested we go with Ticketmaster or whoever, but this is the personal touch that we want to maintain.
One reason for that, the kupuna, who are used to doing things the way they have for years, the way Auntie Luana's mother, Auntie Dottie, did things since the 1960s. But there is one thing that's changing just a little bit, and you can blame inflation.
Mother agonized over raising the prices. This is not a money-making venture. This is about the culture. This is about hula, and this is about sharing it, particularly with those in the Hawaiian community.
Go to merriemonarch.com to see the new prices. They aren't much different. Read the directions, print out the form, and put it in the mail.
Please make sure that the money you send is for the right amount for the section that you want.
And remember, when you're watching the show come April, this is where the magic begins. It's so important, I'll say it again. Go to merriemonarch.com and check on the prices of your tickets. Make sure you send in the right amount, because if you don't, you go to the back of the line, and nobody wants that. In Hilo, I'm Kalihi Tucker, Hawaii News Now.
Yeah, he's getting excited, I think. Yeah, so are we, everyone here at H&N for the Merrie Monarch Festival. All right, that's going to do it for This Is Now. Have a great Aloha Friday. Extended stream coming up in just about 5 minutes on your H&N digital platforms. Ashley back first at 4 on KHNL.